Hey guys, so Bitcoin has moved above that 17k level. But there are some very important things we need to be looking at as to whether it's going to continue to move upwards. Namely, the interesting thing that's happening in the market right now is that the S&P 500 is retesting its downtrending resistance line, which stems from when it topped out in January. So that retest could either lead to a strong rejection on the S&P and maybe Bitcoin as well, depending on the correlation there, or a breakout in the S&P and hence a further breakout on Bitcoin as well. As we know, those are loosely correlated charts, so they are interesting to look at side by side as comparison. We've also got at the same time Ethereum and the total cryptocurrency market cap breaking out quite strongly of their relative resistance zones and flipping them for support currently. So lots is going on in the market. And of course, we need to get into it and discuss the short term and also the medium term as well. Before we get into any of that, of course, like usual, guys, check out the VIP group. You can find the results in the pinned comment. You can join that if you want to. Check out the free Telegram group where you can discuss the market with fellow community members of Wolves Crypto. And then also check out the Crypto Academy courses. And of course, the YouTube channel that we started yesterday collaboratively with Megawell Crypto. Let's get into the video now. So starting with the daily chart, just to give you guys an overall view of what Bitcoin is doing right now. Obviously, the entire price action since around June has been mostly sideways, but we had the move down due to FTX. We immediately went into a descending channel formation, which is obviously a bullish formation. You know, I spoke about this before. A lot of people thought that was a bear flag. That's not a bear flag because a bear flag needs to be uptrending. This was a downtrending channel. And so it was a reversal pattern. We predicted that was going to break to the upside and we did break it to the upside. Moving on to the shorter term charts, we can see that the break to the upside not only took us above the channel, but it's also gotten us above now 17k flat, which was the nearest resistance zone above the channel. And as you can see, you know, you can confirm that just by looking at where the retest happened as soon as we broke out. We immediately went up to 17k, rejected, consolidated for a bit. We built the strength to get above it, and now we are above 17k. Now, the only thing now is that we are seeing descending volume. The volume is still ascending overall, but as of recent hours, the volume hasn't been as strong as it was before. Now, that's not immediate evidence of a breakdown. It is evidence of consolidation, and that consolidation could be happening on support, which could end up being bullish. The reason we can't get into it too much more than that is because we haven't seen that much price action above 17k yet. So there hasn't been a massive chance for any kind of meaningful market pattern to actually form at this point in time. So at this point in time, we need to be waiting another day or so, probably 24 hours, and then seeing what happens with the pattern there. Because again, we just haven't been enough that resistance. We haven't been long enough above that resistance to form any kind of conclusion as to what will happen next there. But we do have kind of a top out on the RSI. We're in overbought territory. So you can expect the price action to maybe just stagnate a little bit here. Again, maybe for the next day or so, we could range between that 17.6k level and 17k flat, and that would probably be what is most likely to happen, unless we see some news come out that sends us downwards. That's probably the most likely scenario now. That's generally what you see after a move like that. But yeah, overall, it's not looking too bad because at the same time as that's happened, if we zoom out on the total cryptocurrency market cap, we can see that pink line there on the total cryptocurrency market cap is the 2017 all-time high. We kind of held that for support. Okay, especially on the weekly chart. Daily chart looks a little bit sketchy, but we held it for support and we bounced upwards. We formed almost like an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Kind of looks like it's a little bit rough, of course. And we have moved to the upside there and we've taken the nearest resistance zone. And as of current, we're holding that for support as well. So that's good. It means that we've cleared that region for the time being. Same thing on Ethereum, right? We had a support block, bounced off of support, and we've taken that support block back and we're flipping it right now. So crypto as a whole, in terms of Bitcoin, in terms of total cryptocurrency market cap, in terms of Ethereum, is actually looking relatively okay in the short term, and it's kind of cleared that danger zone for the time being at least. We still have that compression on the Bollinger Bands, which means the bulk of the move has not happened yet, and so we can honestly probably expect that, as I said, to happen within the next few days. And yeah, we're going to have to see what happens tomorrow with the analysis to see if that's going to continue to be upside or not. But namely, and this is probably the most important part of the video, the thing that's worrying, right? If I had to look at these charts right now, Ethereum, Bitcoin, total cryptocurrency market cap, and I had to make a prediction, I'd say upwards. The only thing that complicates that right now is the S&P chart, right? S&P 500. Looking at this chart, daily chart on the S&P from January, it's pretty clear we have a downtrending line. Right, each bounce we see on the S&P generally lines up with a bounce on Bitcoin, aside from a few exceptions. And each time we reject from these levels in the S&P, it generally lines up with a rejection on Bitcoin, aside from August, right? So now we're at resistance on the S&P, right? With the horizontal red resistance box between 4,150 and around 4,100 flat, and we're at diagonal resistance. So that's kind of the thing that's blocking me from making any further Bitcoin predictions in the short term. Because again, if I had to tell you right now what I'd think about Bitcoin and its cryptocurrency market off the bat with no ulterior, no third-party charts like the S&P, I'd say go upwards. But at this point in time, we can't be that confident because the S&P is at strong resistance right now, so we just have to wait and see what happens with that one to see if it rejects or not. As you guys know, I don't think the S&P 500's bottom is in, and that's something I've covered extensively in the past. If you want my opinion on that, you can check out yesterday's video. So yeah, just basically on support for Bitcoin, on support for crypto, at resistance for the S&P. But I do want to just go into that a little bit further, because right now, again, I'll reiterate what I said before. We're in Q4. We're in the 4-year cycle pattern. I do think we're going to bottom out in Q4, maybe early January. Maybe we might spill into January briefly. And so, again, I've made the argument multiple times in previous videos. I think there is a decent argument to be made that the bottom is in on Bitcoin, right? Again, I've said that multiple times. I'll say it again. I think there is a decent argument to be made that the bottom is in on Bitcoin already. One of the supporting charts for that would be the 3-day RSI, okay? Now, just before I look into this, okay? It's not confirmed yet. What would confirm it? Well, I'll tell you what would confirm it. Okay, I'll tell you what would confirm the bottom being in on Bitcoin. Breaking above the bull market support band, okay, on the daily chart, would confirm the bottom being in on the weekly candle close. And in doing so, in breaking above the bull market support band, we would have also broken above this downtrending RSI line, which is what is maintaining us in a downwards trend for Bitcoin. So again, at this point in time, if we were to break it today, we would need to break above, say, 21.1k-ish for the bottom to be actually confirmed, or at least partially confirmed, at least some sort of macro confirmation on Bitcoin. I think if that happened, I'd be pretty confident the bottom would be confirmed. And that's why I have arranged my buying plan around that, which you guys are extremely familiar with by now. And if you haven't watched the channel before, essentially we've bought 50% already, and we're holding the other 50% in reserve for either lower prices or a weekly close above the bull market support band, which you can see there in this buying plan. That's kind of the overall game plan that we have on the channel for Bitcoin right now, and that I'm personally following. I want to briefly interrupt this video to talk about the BitGet Exchange. The BitGet Exchange has 5 times lower fees than Binance, which is the biggest major exchange in the cryptocurrency market on futures. It also has 0 fees on every single spot pair, so you can trade spot for entirely free, no fees included. It runs events. Right now it's got a FIFA World Cup event sponsored by Messi, the football player. It's got copy trading, strategy trading. It's got exclusive rewards and discounts in the reward center. It's got everything you need for a trader using an exchange. This is the exchange I personally use as a trader for my everyday trading, and I highly recommend everyone does so at the Wolves of Crypto YouTube channel. Sign up using my referral link for exclusive rewards and discounts. That really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. For my fans from the United States of America, you can sign up using this exchange with a VPN and use the exchange with a VPN and just sign up using my referral link like normal, and you'll be treated like a normal customer because this is also a non-KYC exchange. So make sure to sign up using my referral link in the pinned comment or the description below, and without further ado, let's get back into the video. Again, so just moving into what we saw on the 3-day RSI here, I have identified what generally happens on bounces of the 3-day RSI. Now we have a support line on the 3-day RSI at 34 flat, right? The number 34 could even be 33. It depends on how you draw it. The point is, every time we lose that level, we see a 20 to 60% correction. Every time we bounce off that level, we see a massive pump. I have identified what those pumps look like in the past, right? So right now we're bouncing off that level currently. We're currently up probably, well, let's go ahead and see. We can just measure it right now. We're currently up on this bounce since the retest around 11%. Okay, historically, looking at these bounces here, we've seen 43% bounces, 150%. We saw a 100%, a 48%, 15%, 317%, 64%, 32%, and 141%. Okay, so right now we're up 11%, which would be the lowest bounce we've ever seen in history off of the 3-day RSI on Bitcoin, out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 occasions. So either this is a very small bounce for the first time ever off the 3-day RSI, or we need to go at least a little bit higher. Based on that reasoning, I would say it is probably most likely that Bitcoin comes up at least to 17.7k. Right, which is where we found the June low, okay? And if we actually zoom out on Bitcoin and we go to something like, let's just go to the 3-day chart here and use it as an example, we can see that 17.6k, of course, is the June low. I'm saying we're probably going to bounce up to that region, right? That is the critical rejection point in the short term, because look at this. If we bounce up to that region and reject off of it, right, we've basically flipped that range from a downside. We had a range here, we came up, we were unable to break back into the range, and hence we would go further down, right? But on the other hand, if we break above that range and get back into it, then this move here could be labeled as a fake out triggered by FTX. So 17.6k is basically the line in the sand for Bitcoin, and we're very, very close to testing it. Again, if we break above it, that would label this entire move a fake out and dramatically increase the chances of this entire of this being the bottom, right? Whereas if we reject off of it, it would dramatically reduce the chances of this being the bottom because we'd have to come back and retest it again. So again, just the whole premise of this video, 17.6k is the line in the sand for Bitcoin. That is the important level that everyone should be watching right now. We do have some positive news coming in from the crypto charts, but overall the S&P is complicating it for everyone, and we do need to wait an extra day to get extra evidence on any kind of actual short-term prediction. But yeah, at this point in time, I'd say it's probably most likely do come up and retest that June low, 17.6k from a downside. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you tomorrow with some more in-depth analysis.